Hey there, Rooted Coop family. Welcome back to the Rooted Coop channel, where today we're diving into something exciting and a request that you have had, a full video with no cuts. Today we're going to be doing the countertop hot process soap making method. But before we begin, let me tell you, this video took on quite an adventure to come to life, and I'll tell you all about all of those shenanigans later in the video. But first, let's get started. I've gathered all of the necessary items for this soap making journey. My oils have been measured and heated. I'm using olive, coconut, sweet almond, grapeseed, castor, and palm oil. I've measured out all of my additional ingredients like the fragrance, mica, and goat milk that I will be needing. All of my tools that I could possibly need have also been gathered. Right now, I just mixed my lye into my water, creating my lye water solution. Always remember with lye to use your safety equipment. I have on gloves, goggles, and I'm working in a well-ventilated area and wearing a mask to avoid inhaling the fumes, which can be harmful. The goal today, a soap that's going to leave you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. So step one, in my bowl I have all of my oils together. I have some kaolin clay in the bowl as well. We're going to be doing a goat milk and kaolin clay soap. I have mixed my lye and waters together to make my lye water solution. I have heated my oils. I have them at about 185 degrees. I probably should have heated them a little bit more to have got them closer to the 200 degree mark. I'm getting ready to add my lye water solution into my oils. I'm going to blend this to trace, and then I'm going to be using a plastic shower cap. I have a pack that I bought just for this purpose, and so I will be covering this in a moment to allow it to hold the heat in, and that will allow for the process to start taking place. But again, right now I'm just getting it all mixed together. I'm going to use my stick blender and bring this to trace. Remember, this is very hot, so you want to use safety precautions for that. We're going to be watching this closely for the crucial phases. Remember, we're going to be looking for the applesauce phase, the mashed potato phase, and what's called the Vaseline phase. We're going to be working the soap in between the phases to allow all of the processes to take place. I'm going to start talking about some other things while this is going, and that way, because I've got a lot of information I want to bring to y'all today. So we're going to talk about cold process versus hot process. As you know, with cold process, you have a little bit more control over the pour of the batter, the colors that you can use, and things of that nature, because you are soaping at a lower temperature. You're going to, with cold process, have your cooled oils, your cool lye, mix them together, blend them to trace, color them, fragrance them, pour them into the mold. In cold process, because the batter is relatively fluid for a longer period of time, you can be more creative to do the intricate designs, swirls, and patterns. Okay, I have got this to a light trace. I'm just putting this plastic shower cap on to cover to hold in the heat. Trying to get all of the wrinkles out so you can see what's taking place. This is going to sit for about 5 minutes to work on the process. But back to cold process. So again, you can make more of those creative designs. You can do the swirls, the patterns, things of that nature. Cold process, usually they say 4 to 6 weeks for the cure time. And again, we know that the cure time in soap making can be a hot topic, but we're not really going to get into that. We can discuss that at a later time. A hot process. So if you're doing the hot process soap making method, it's going to involve heat. You have to heat the soap mixture up to accelerate the saponification process. This can result in a typically 1 to 2 week cure time is what some believe. Again, hot topic issue that we're just going to skim over that today. The hot process soap often has a more rustic or a textured appearance compared to the smoothness that the cold process soap would have, just due to the cooking process. It may have a little bit of a different feel and a look, appealing to some individuals more and not so much to others. It's good for additives because certain botanicals or exfoliants may hold up better than the hot process soaping, as they are exposed to less chemical alterations due to the cook phase, the way the pH levels work out during the cook phase. And the choice between hot and cold process, it just depends on personal preference, the characteristics that you're looking for in the soap, the specific needs of the soap maker and the consumer. Some soap makers might prefer the artistic flexibility of the cold process, while others may opt for the faster hot process soap making. Some soap makers are intimidated or uninterested in the heat and the long process of the hot process soap making, with the volcanoes and other factors that can come into place, as well as the demand on both the body and the equipment when you're making this. This will definitely, as you will see, gives your arms and backs a workout. It can also ruin stick blenders if you are not watching those closely. But in the end, both methods work out and yield high quality soaps, and the choice is just depends upon the soap maker's priorities and preferences. Now we're going to talk about why countertop versus the other hot process methods. As you can see, I am not using a crock pot or anything. I just have it in a bowl. I heated this oil in the microwave. The cost of this would be lower because I didn't have to purchase a crock pot to do this. I have purchased my shower caps. This is the equipment that I would use for cold process anyway. You can see it's kind of starting to rise into the bowl. As you can see, the batter starting to rise up as it's foaming up in there. Back to the deal. So I'm able to heat my oil. I can do the countertop hot process soap making. I have the control over it. I am involved in every step of this throughout the way. I know what's going on. I can closely monitor the consistency. I can wait and add my colorant and my fragrance at the end. Because this is being cooked, this is going to lead to a rustic looking bar. It's going to change the coloring of things. This can be a cost-effective way to start out if you don't want to purchase the crock pot, especially in those first few batches, especially when you're learning and trying to figure out what method, what quality, what type of bar that you're looking for. You can do small batches this way. You can do a smaller scale, so you can experiment with different recipes to see which recipe works best for you, so you're not stuck with a huge recipe of soap that maybe you're not happy with the ingredients. Maybe you're trying to figure out your recipe. And again, it's definitely a hands-on approach. Some people find that the hot process method allows them to be involved in every step of this process from start to finish. They're manipulating the mixture directly. So I just want you to know that countertop hot process has its advantages, but so does cold process. So does the crock pot method. They all have their advantages and they all have a disadvantage. So you have to figure out what method you want to do, what method you want to use, what method works best for you, because that's ultimately who the choice belongs to, is the person that's making it. The equipment that you have on hand, the time that you have on hand, what characteristics that you're looking for in your soap. The crockpot method can allow a little bit more of a hands-off approach because it is able to sit for longer periods of time without you having to be on top of it, working it as frequently. But with this method, I think this video is about 30 minutes, 25-30 minutes. So again, you can get it done faster. Again, the choice is up to you. All methods can yield a high quality handmade soap. Okay, so we are getting ready to check this. We're about 5 minutes in probably. Again, my oil, if I'd have been a little bit hotter on my oil, I think this would have moved along a little bit faster. Just going to stir it down. You have to stay on top of this and make sure that it is not going to volcano out on you, because again, that is a mess you do not want to have to clean up. I'm going to use the stick blender just to blend it all together a little bit to help accelerate the process. It's not quite at an applesauce phase. We'll get there soon, but we're not quite there. It's starting to show some signs of it there around the edges. And this one doesn't go through all of the phases as well as some of the others that I have made. We'll get into all of the difficulties that I had with getting this video up for y'all in just a moment. Another reason that I like this method, the fragrance oil that I end up using for this batch is one that has become a hot seller for me. It's great, it's wonderful. However, it is one that likes to rice and does not want to behave, it does not play well with others. So I end up, if I cold process with that one, I'm not able to do the beautiful swirls because it rices. So then I have to reblend it. I have had it poured into the mold only for it to separate and rice and all of the ugly things that we do not want to happen. And I've had to rework it, and fingers crossed trying to get something to salvage out of it. Was able to pull it back together. That's not something that I want to have to do consistently, and with this being one that's so popular, I knew that I needed to figure out the method that would work best for me and my customers. So again, that's why I'm hot processing this one. You could also, because I add my fragrance at the very end after it's went through all of its cook phases, you can see it rising up in the container. If you look closely, you can kind of see it just rising up. But anyway, you can add the fragrance at the end, so it's not going through the chemical reactions that's taking place. So it can help hold the integrity of your fragrance if you're using an essential oil. Certain fragrances do not survive saponification, so this could be an alternative for those fragrances. I still allow my hot process soaps to cure for about 4 weeks before selling them. So the faster cure time, that's not what I do it for. I know some, a week or two after they make hot process, they go ahead. Oh, looks like we're hitting the applesauce phase. So I wanted to show y'all applesauce so you can kind of have a comparison here. And again, this one didn't hit it as heavily as some of the others done, but you will see that we're going to hit applesauce phase soon. But yeah, I still give my soaps about 4 weeks. I feel that creates the best bar for me and what I want to do. But now let's talk about all of the problems that we had in this one. So this is the 6th batch of this that I have made to get this video up, which is insane. I broke my camera, and it was the mounting part on the bottom of my camera. I broke it on the first one. So then I had to figure out a different mounting solution. Then my battery kept dying, and so it drained my filming momentum. Then I ended up losing footage from some of my batches because of some power flickers that I had going on. But after 6 attempts, this is my 6th try to get this video for you guys. I think we're finally here, hopefully. So, yeah, this video definitely took way longer than it should have, but we're gonna get there. It's all gonna come out in the end, so yay for that. And again, I'm going to be doing goat milk in this one, so I have my goat milk. You know, I use goat milk powder, so I have it diluted with some hot water to the side, and I will add that at the end. And by doing so, it will keep my milk from being burned or scorched during the process. Because if you add the goat milk at the beginning, it's going to burn and scorch going through this process. It just gets so hot. Looks like we're fixing to hit mashed potato phase. I'm going to use the stick blender to just, looks like I'm just kind of stirring it. I'm going to whoosh it together a little bit. And again, some of the other attempts, the soap actually performed better, but the recording system didn't. So we're going to get what we're going to get, looks like. Yeah, it's just going to look like mashed. similar to mashed potatoes. Every time I do this, it acts differently, but it still goes through all of the phases. Some phases are just more obvious in some batches than others. It has to do with the temperature of the oil, the temperature of the room. It's just all of the things can play a factor in all of that. But if you kind of know what you're looking for, then you can see that you've hit all your phases. So like I say, right now we're coming upon mashed potatoes. But yeah, I like to use the goat milk powder, so I'm going to be adding that at the end. You know, goat milk is rich in the fatty acids, the triglycerides. It's just an excellent natural moisturizer. It helps keep your skin soft, smooth, hydrated. All of the vitamins in there are great for your skin. It can promote just overall health. There's the lactic acid present in goat milk. It can help to exfoliate the skin by removing those dead skin cells, leaving a brighter complexion. We know that goat milk contains compounds that can have anti-inflammatory properties, so it can possibly help soothe some irritated and sensitive skin. Okay, we're going to be covering it back up, waiting for, let's see, we've went through applesauce and we've went through mashed potatoes, so we're going to be looking for our Vaseline paste. But yeah, I really love the benefits of the goat milk added to the soap. I feel that it is wonderful in a bar of soap. Creates that beautiful lather. Just kind of staying there on top of it. I did have one batch that volcanoed onto the counter because I walked away for like 2 seconds and it decided it didn't want to stay in the bowl. So, and then I wasn't fast enough to keep it in the bowl. So yeah, I did have a volcano happen on the counter. So all sorts of funness happened with this one. I don't know if you can see it rising up and puffing up again. Again, this does get very hot. It's probably for about 215 right now for the temperature. And you can use plastic wrap instead of a shower cap. But I found you can get these shower caps at the dollar store, several in a pack for $1 or $2, and they have the elastic in them, so it allows them to stick to the bowl. But again, you could use plastic wrap if that's what you have on hand. You just want to cover it to hold the heat in. We're going to be heading towards our Vaseline phase. I tried to put those markers in a little bit before so you would know to be looking for those phases to hit. And again, the kale and clay was added in the beginning. I could have added it at the end, but I thought I'd go ahead and add it at the beginning so it has the little bit of coloring in the batch as well. I use the stick blender just a little. You want to be very cautious about the stick blender too. Pay attention to what sounds it's making because you can definitely burn out your stick blender if you're not careful. And two, with the stick blending, it accelerates the process some. So if you're not careful, you're stick blending and then it starts to volcano and then you're having to use the stick blender as a spoon, and it can be a lot. You can see it's very thick now. So see how it looks, how it's behaving. I hope that I have went through all of the steps and the details that y'all were wanting. Didn't go too off track, I hope. Okay, we are about here to the end of it. We're going to be adding in our fragrance oil next, our mica, and our goat milk powder, not in any particular order. We're going to be getting those blended in and then getting this into a mold soon. Again, this works out best for this fragrance because it does not want to play well. So this is a way that I can offer my customers that fragrance that they love, but still have the beautiful soap bar. making sure everything's all blended together, making sure I do have everything like I want it. So here's the goat milk that I was telling you about, and again, I took the goat milk powder and I just added it to a little bit of the hot water that I kept out, and that way it would be good and dissolved and melted. I'm going to stir that in as best I can with my spoon, getting this arm work out. I don't know if you can tell, my arm is tired. I know when I first started this method, I had my husband to, hey, help me stir this because it gets to be a lot. Here's the fragrance oil. I'm going to be blending it in. I'm going to be adding some mica powder that I had diluted it with water. Again, you want to have everything to where you can just stir it in as easily as possible, because to try to add powder to this, I think you would end up not being happy with the result. I'm just trying to get everything blended in as well as I possibly can. Yeah, this was definitely one of those videos. The video itself to make this wasn't difficult. It was getting the film and the footage for you guys. But I'm glad that it finally all worked out. Yeah, and you may not want to color this because the colorant was what took so long to get blended in. But it also gives you a good idea of if everything is well blended or not, because you can definitely see the parts that do not have the colorant added. And I want to scrape down along the bowl. I don't know if you're noticing that or not, but scrape down along the sides, because the soap will stick to the side and it will become hard and it won't go back into the batter as well. So once it starts to cool off, because right now it's finishing up, so it's starting to cool down and stuff. So you want to keep everything in the bowl as much as possible, because the little bits that come out, they will set up and then you're just kind of not able to do anything with them. I'm going to spoon it in, plop, plop, get it into the mold. I let this sit after I've done this. I don't know, I probably let it sit 24 hours. I wasn't in a rush to get it unmolded and cut. You could definitely cut it sooner. I didn't have a reason to have to hurry to get it undone, so I just let it sit overnight and done it the next day. But you could cut it sooner whenever you felt that it was cooled off enough that you could do so. I'm gonna, as you can see, pound it on the counter to get all of those air bubbles out. Try to get everything down into this mold the way that we want it. And that's basically what it all turned out to be. I will show you the cut, and I'm also going to show you all of those other bars. I genuinely hope this video was worth the wait, guys. I truly appreciate all of your patience. Soap making may not always go as planned, but the effort poured into it is all for you. Your support means the world. And since it's the end of the year and the start of a new year, we at Rooted Coop want to wish you and yours a Happy New Year. We hope that your holiday season was overflowed with blessings, joy, and beautiful moments shared with loved ones. As we embrace the fresh beginning, may the new year unfold as your best year yet, brimming with opportunities, growth, and endless reasons for happiness. In the coming year, I'm thinking of stepping up my game a little bit with 2 videos a week, or maybe 1 a week and then a couple of extra for the weekends or something. So stay tuned for more amazing content as I continue to make new videos and grow the channel. As we step into the promising new year, we're excited to share that we're diligently working behind the scenes building a new website that promises to enhance your experience and offers even more valuable resources. Look at how those turned out. I'm using my finger to kind of run over where the cut lines are, just to smooth those out while it's fresh. and that will allow the cut marks to be worked in. But there's the beautiful bars. And they will continue to lighten up. Here's the final, what they look like when they're done. Here is some of the other batches that I made that I wasn't able to film for you guys. I also done this with oats and honey in some of the batches. Some are goat milk and kale and clay. Oat milk and honey. And here's our beautiful bars. Thank you for joining me today. As always, remember, stay clean, stay creative, stay rooted, enjoy the scent, and embrace the suds. Bye for now.